then after Christmas, I sort of leveled at 233.
Mm.
I think I'm probably about 226. So I've dropped 6 or 7 pounds. I got the good DNP back, but I've just been taking 100 mg every other day. I've been cardioing twice a day on rest days. And my food's reasonably low, but not drastically low. It's just comfortable. But I'll give you an example of what I mean by where it's been getting stressful over the last couple of months. So like today with Aralina, right? Normally Aralina gets up about 6, half 6. So I get up at 4:45 and I can get my breakfast done, my 2 meals of the day done, like the 2 middle ones, and I can get my cardio done before she wakes. But this morning she woke up at 5:10, so I got nothing done. And then I had to be out the house where I'm coming at 8 o'clock, 8:15, so I could go and work. So I didn't get a chance to prep 2 meals this morning. I only managed to just get my breakfast done. Then I came back and they were asleep, so I got a meal made. And then we had to go straight to gymnastics. So now I'm like 2 meals down already. Then we went straight from gymnastics to see my mate's baby. And then on the way home, Aralina swilled herself with a fucking, one of these. She just poured it all over her head.
Good girl.
So then by the time I got her undressed, bath, washed into bed, I've then come straight on here. So because of having Aralina, when these days when there's just me and her, or even if I've got to work, if she gets up early, I can't prep my meals as they should be. So like today what I did is I got something that matched the macros in David Lloyd's. And then for my beef meal, I got 2 double cheeseburgers, no cheese from McDonald's, but ditched one of the buns. So that's like 55 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs. So I've managed to fit in the food more or less that I need today because I've been able to be flexible. Where when I was trying to stick on to doing what AJ wanted me to do, I was stressing myself to fucking death thinking, well, you fucked up. So then I can't be late for gymnastics. I can't be late for something else. So I'm just stuck in this hellhole of like chasing between me and Aralina, and it was getting me stressed. So that's why I think now doing my own thing, and on these days, I'm still getting the total food in I need, and I'm not prepping for a fucking show, so there's no need to stress over it. And I'm losing the fat I need. As long as I'm eating the calories, it doesn't matter so much. So that's why I do my own thing at the moment. Makes sense.
It doesn't kill your appetite, because it can do that at some point for you.
Yeah, and as long as I keep it right, and it's when I'm dieting down, it's fine. And then what I've got to do is when I come up, I've got to keep the same approach, but just stay lean, I think. But it's just days like this with Aralina, like I have to prioritise my time with her and any bits of work I've got to do. So I can't be stressing over meals and fucking about when she's this young, because in another year or two she'll be at school and I won't get the opportunity to have the time with her. So it's like she has to just take priority and then work comes next. So then the food. And that's why if I diet at the moment, if I don't eat enough, I ain't going to lose any fucking muscle. So it's not the end of the world, is it? And if I just have to have another shake or if I have to make it fit, that's fine. But what was stressing me out was I'm not a type of person to not follow a plan when I'm paying someone to do it. So then me going to AJ, listen, I'm sorry, mate, I couldn't follow this because I've got my daughter. It's like it was just impossible to do things how he wanted. So then there was no point in us working together. If I can't do him justice like I was, then there's no point, is there? And it was causing me
now
more
that
stress.
the external stress of like the accountability is gone.
So much. Like I said to Riz on Wednesday, because Wednesday is a proper stressful day for me because I've had Aralina 3 days. So I've got outstanding work that needs to be done straight away, plus my usual check-ins. And then that's when he had my high day. So I was trying to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get 7 meals in, 6,000 calories, on top of playing catch-up at work, on top of trying to get his... I like to stay in bed a bit longer with Aralina on a Wednesday because then I'm not going to see for 3.5 days. So then by the time I was getting to the gym, I still had loads of work left to do. I'd forced 3 meals in. And I messaged Riz on Thursday. Last Wednesday was fucking bliss because I only had 2 meals to get in before the gym like normal. I wasn't stressing over that. I wasn't feeling bloated and shitty in the gym. I wasn't stressed for my meal. I knew I didn't have chicken to be like giving excuses to fucking AJ. So it made all the difference in the world to how I felt.
He's saying all this stuff because he wanted to work with me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Kept my wrist.
I wanted Riz to give me 2 free meals and train every day for just 20 minutes.
Rizzy going to change his name to Rizzy Doc.
Listen,
Rizzy Doc.
Hilly, I trained with Hilly, 2 weeks ago? He's seen the power of me.
Yeah,
I think
I've
I
seen
kept
the
it
power.
with him.
Riz was fucking strong. Riz was strong.
Stop it, Riz. You can't gaslight, bro. I train with you.
Bro, have you trained with me at full force with my 4 meals
You were
in?
peak off season. I was literally depleted
Bro.
and had bad joints.
Bro, I'm peak off season when I trained with Hilly, bro. Trust me, mate. Everything I kept up.
Your top sets are my back off sets.
I basically, what I do is I let everyone go first and I go last. I'm like, yeah, as long as I beat
I
by
hate
rep.
those motherfuckers. And
I'm
I never
stronger.
catch on. Like, no matter how often I train with people, I never catch on what they're doing. I'm like, I'll go first, and then they just smoke me. I'm like, yeah, fuckers.
Good session.
Where did you train?
We trained I always forget the name, Hilly.
I don't know it.
Muscle Factory Gymnasium.
When's
Sounds
that
exciting.
JP gym opening in Cheltenham?
Next week.
Next week.
This weekend, this Sunday.
Are you boys going?
I'm going down either Thursday or Friday to stay with Jordan for a couple of days, and then I'm going to the opening. But it's only like, I think it's 10 till 1 or 11 till 2.
Yeah.
What
But
day
I've
is
got
it? Saturday.
Sunday coming up.
Oh,
But I've got to leave.
I'm going to be hanging on Sunday. Fuck that.
I've got to leave for 1 o'clock, so I've got to be back in it to 4 drive to get our leader.
Where
Yeah.
is
So I'm
it
not there
again?
for the full thing.
Cheltenham.
Cheltenham.
Right by me, Riz.
Oh, that's far, man. Actually, the drive there ain't that bad, to be honest.
It's not a
with you,
bad
yeah?
drive now. You could I
No.
don't mind going up to you. It's a you up to Hilly's to cunt, but up to you is no
Yeah.
problem.
Hilly's is a bastard to get to.
Yeah.
Um,
And I got to go to court for that fucking speeding fine.
the one where are you doing 70 though, right?
Yeah, the one I was just doing 70 miles an hour plus 55 miles an hour.
In Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah.
Have we got any topics that we want to cover today?
Well,
What
we
we going to
didn't-
roll through, boys?
Yeah, we haven't got any questions, but we can just make shit up as we go, can't we?
Yeah.
How's off season going, Riz? Where are we at? What's the plans?
Yeah, good. Food's hard, bro. Food's hard to get down. I messaged Martin this morning because last night I went to Dia, goes, make me some veg, will you, to make my food taste a bit nice, and she made me like some saucy like veg and that. It was nice, but I goes to her, you know, when you make me nice food, Dia, I expect it like this every time. Do you know what I mean? I used to just like eating boring food, but I had that. My stomach started hurting, and then Dee got me one of these bottle things. It's a straw. You have to suck it to get the water out.
Yeah, Daisy's
So-
got one. Yeah.
Yeah, and bro, we try and drink like 4 liters a day with that, bro. I don't know if it was hurting my stomach, yeah, because at night time my stomach was in agony, bro. I was in proper pain.
Wait, just to clarify, you're saying the sucky top is hurting your belly?
Yeah,
Riz,
What?
you couldn't be gay, could you, son?
Yeah, you'd be a shit homo.
bro. Listen, bro, trust me. I think because we drink so much water in one go, I'm trying to fucking get out fucking 300 ml.
Riz is like this.
I'm trying to hit it like a vape, yeah.
Hey,
and I
drinking
was
out
at
of a
the-
straw is so much easier. I got these proper fat straws. It's just the easiest way to get water in.
Yeah, but the one that I'm on about, bro, it's like a pressure one.
I know
man.
the one.
This is literally
Yeah,
me every day.
I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
I like the cheap bottles. They're the best ones.
Is that flavoured water,
But-
Riz?
Yeah, mate, just get
it was.
normal bottles of water and just put squash in it.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I do. I always just fill them up with squash. But those flavoured waters, I've got an iron stomach. Those flavoured waters are the only thing that fuck my digestion up. They
What, the
they
Volvo?
really
Really
mess
nice.
with my stomach. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, but like I was saying, my stomach was a bit full last night. I've been feeling a bit battered as well. So I messaged Martin. I go, listen, man, I'm not training today. I'm just going to sleep. I'm going to miss today. I'm going to miss tomorrow. And I'm just going to start the week on the Wednesday, but do all the small body parts because I've been going to the gym, mate, and I'm stupid because I can't do the reps and reserve shit. And I've been maxing out on that squat machine.
Yeah, that was a big
Then-
set, man. I watched that.
Yeah, then I do leg press.
Yeah, but them
I don't know,
squat
perhaps-
machines are light as fuck though, Deck.
Yeah, I can't get on with them. I used to be at Ultraflex
Yeah.
for all of them. I don't know. I think it's because I squat really narrow. I just can't get on really well with them.
Put a wedge underneath it.
Yeah.
Changes it completely.
The reason why I have to go wide on it is because I'm trying to hit my hamstring and my ass a bit more. I don't like doing the glute drive. It hurts my back. But mate, I've been training 6 times a week for about 8 weeks, so I need a little bit of time off.
Yeah, fuck that.
I do feel pretty fucked. I can just
Yeah,
tell, bro.
You know,
when
them,
the
like
sleep
ankle
goes, shit.
wedges that increases your ankle mobility.
Yeah.
That just changes it completely, and you can keep your stance like really narrow and then still hit the.
Yeah.
Still hit it.
I've always wear those Nike Remelios. I've got a pair of those.
Yeah, but I
want
don't
to get a
think they
pair.
work on me like the
Yeah, I need a
same
pair
way.
with a bigger heel.
I wear flats, and then I'll just use
Wedge
a
it.
wedge.
If I wear anything with a heel, I can't squat at all.
But that's probably because you've got good ankle mobility. That's the way it's supposed to work. If you have good ankle mobility, it'll offset the way you squat. It won't feel natural.
Usually for shorter for shorter guys, it's easier to get the like. I find taller guys find it more difficult to get depth on ankle
Yeah.
because of ankle mobility.
I've been considering getting some squat shoes because normally I always train legs in flat trainers or I have them finger trainers, whatever
Yeah,
they're called.
the Vibrams.
But I trained in some trainers with heels the day and it actually felt a bit better on my knees.
They're
So
a game
I'm gonna-
changer for me. Like honestly, especially because of the way that I squat as well, they are a literal game changer for me. Like I wouldn't ever go without them ever.
Right. I need to get something to try then.
I've
See,
actually been
I'm
wearing
opposite. I've
Vans.
had different ones. Like I've had the Nike ones, and they're like the expensive ones. I've also had the cheap knockoff ones from like the Chinese ones that you get for like 30 quid. I've just never got on with them for
Well,
some reason.
I think I paid £150 over asking price just so I can get a pair of discontinued pink ones. That's how childish I am.
Brilliant.
Because
Yeah.
I wore the Otomix for a bit, yeah, and I think they're fucking shit.
Nah.
The Vibrams stink and they hurt my feet after a bit. But they are good.
I love Vibrams. It's a smell, man. Like, honestly, like a week of wearing them, mine are fucked.
See, I buy the finger socks, the finger toe socks to go in them. So I've never washed mine. Mine don't smell because I don't sweat in them because I wear the proper socks. It's if you wear them in bare feet, they end up stinking.
Yeah.
And with them Otomix, you just look like a cunt. Like,
yeah, they're not cool, are they? Like, they're just not like.
Nah.
Otomix, yeah.
I wore some for a while, and I do like training legs in a flat heel, or I always like a flat sole, and I always have done. But the boots, they do just make you look like a fucking cunt.
You can't compare Vans or Converse. Vans or Converse are the ultimate training shoes.
Yeah. Bro, Vans High Top is the fucking one right now. It's my favourite trainer.
I find like in socks, sometimes I get on with it, but your foot, you don't get the same support.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's where the high tops are good. Look, you get that little bit of ankle support. That's what the Nike Melees are really good as well. Those silly little straps make such a difference to like how secure your ankles feel.
That's true. I tell you what,
I've been training this weird little gym, but it's like a legit powerlifter gym. Like I'm the weakest man there. Like their dudes like squatting like 300 kilos for fun, for banter, and they've got this safety bar squat, and I've been going at it for like, I would say 3 rotations now, and I can't understand why it's been ruining my life, because their Smith machine is, I don't know how, but it's too tall for me to squat in and too short for me to squat in. Does that make sense? Like where the pins are set, I can't get it right for my height, so I've been using this safety bar thing, but it keeps putting me on my ass. I found out today it weighs 37 kilos, number one.
Yeah.
But I was squatting today, right, and it's a legit powerlifter one. It whips a bit if you rock. Yeah, so I was on my like 6th rep with 5 plates on, and I come down and the bar whips. It hits me in the back of the head, like the back of the bar. I remember nothing from that point. All of a sudden, the bar's back on the stand, and I'm sat down on the bench. There's like 10, 15 seconds. I remember nothing, like literally fucking nothing. I don't remember finishing the rep. Nothing. It cracked me in the head. I came around and I sat on the bench. Weird.
Some people that like they don't do it from the back, but they do it from the front.
Yeah, that's what I do, because I squat high bar, so I pull it right over me, if that makes sense. But then if there's a tiny little bit of wobble at the bottom, that bar just cracks. Well, it's the first time it's ever happened. It's cracked in the back of the head. Fucking
it's
weird.
more like a front squat, which is technically better for quads.
Yeah.
But
it's good being around powerlifters, man. Like they're so fucking like in the zone. Like don't get me wrong, and half the time the cunts are drinking cans of Guinness. No joke, they bring cans of Guinness for their like pool days or whatever. But like when they're in their sets, it's a real good atmosphere to be around. Like they're just fucking getting after it, you know.
I think if you think you're strong and you train in a proper powerlifting gym, it humbles you.
Yeah. But they're also impressed by like what we do. Like I'm not a million miles away from some of them, but obviously I'm doing reps. So like there's a good like crossover between like the two. They're kind of like, fuck that, I wouldn't be doing that type thing. But then I'm also just fascinated watching them using those like crazy camber bars and stuff and like loading up 300 kilos. It's just bonkers.
I suppose as well, in a gym like that, you're not going to get all the shit you get at other gyms in this day and age, are you?
No. And they're quite fascinated by bodybuilding. Like they don't understand it. They're like, why have you got so many veins in your calf? Like it just blows their minds because they're all fat.
But bro, they're some of the best guys to ask for a spot. Every time I'm doing a heavy set, they're the guys that ask for a spot.
Yeah.
Because they could do as much as possible. They'll start shouting, bro.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I'll tell you something I've noticed. So do you know when we were in the DHB? I think I'm at week 3 or 4 now. My temper, so I'm noticing some sort of like aggression from it. My strength's going through the fucking roof, but I am noticing a bit like, do you know, things that'll annoy me that they normally wouldn't, which I wouldn't have expected from it, but I'm noticing that. And I'm also noticing a bit of acid, which I would normally get from Trent, which is interesting as well.
A really good podcast from Skip Hill on DHB. Skip Hill, Scott McNally, and the other guy we really like, the one that does Charles all the drugs all the time. And it just made him want to load up like 70 mil of it and pin it. Like that Skip Hill said that obviously he's very consistent with his cycles and that sort of stuff. Yes. And he said when he implemented DHB, and he has a real good like understanding of it to a degree, because he's like, if you buy 10 bottles, if you buy 10 bottles, understand 6 of those bottles are going to ruin your life with pip and you have to bin them. 4 of them are going to be good. And that's just it's just because of the solvent that it's going to crystallize. But he did say, like, you can see it in the bottle. If it's minimal, heat it up, it'll be absolutely fine. But the second it starts really crashing, just spin it. Like, you're not going to use it. Just the money's gone. It's gonna cause you loads of issues. But he did say that when he was on prep and he almost ran an identical cycle to what he'd done previously with DHB, and he came in fast. Like he said, I was sweating more in the gym. I was getting harder and harder and harder very quickly. And it was the only compound difference in any of the other preps that he'd done.
Interesting.
He said there's also a top pro. He won't mention his name, but he's a bit older now. He's had some health issues. And the only thing he preps on now is testing DHB. High DHB and just test. And he said he comes in rock hard now every single time, which is interesting. But it is a good
I was speaking to Kieran Driscoll, and he said to me, Kieran, Ryan's boy, Kieran.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, Riz, last time I used DHB at my prep, he goes, mate, it was a total game changer. He goes, the physique started changing. He goes, I will never prep without it again, which is a big statement to make.
Yeah. I got Matt Tofton's cycle. I'm going to try and chew Hilly's ear off so we can swap the EQ out for DHB because I got a fair few bottles of it now. I just don't know. I looked at Tofton's cycle. He sent me kind of what he's doing. He's mapped his out. You know what he's like. He's mapped out from 1 to week 10 type thing. And I would have thought it would have replaced Boldenon, but he seems to be running alongside it.
I've done it. So in my cycle at the moment, I've got 600 mg of test. AJ had me on 750 when we started prep. AJ had me on 600 EQ and 600 mast. I've gone 300 EQ, 300 mast, and then I've put 225 DHB in. So I've kept the drugs pretty much the same. I'm taking less Clen than he told me to at the start. Well, I've only taken Clen 2 days so far anyway. And the DMP I've been using has been fucking bunk. Yet I have come in to the point where is it? Hang on. I took this picture the other day. Where is it?
How long have you been on DMP? 2 days?
The DMP? Well, on the stuff that actually works, I've only done 2 days worth, Friday and Sunday. The other stuff I was taking for 8 days, the raw stuff, but it was bunk. It's no fucking DMP.
So have you got more from raw or have you got another source?
No, so Riz had some of my old yellow ones that I had from years ago. So he's only to give me them. Because I only want to take 100 mg every other day or for a week just to give that initial kickstart. But I thought I would play with raws. Anyway, I did
or do you think it's just because obviously on 100 mg, you're not supposed to feel much?
No,
the one he's got now is only 50 mg as well.
Yeah, so the ones I've got are the same. But with the raw stuff, I did 100, 100, 150, 200, 200, 250. Didn't notice a fucking thing. One of my clients has been running it for 4 weeks just because he heard us talking about it. He was like, Hilly, can I do that? Mini cut. And I was like, yeah, of course. Now, he was 290 pounds, that Martin. Another Martin I trained with, the big kid.
Yeah.
So I put him on 150. He said, Hilly, I don't feel sweet, fuck all. So in my mind, I was like, well, you're 290 pound. It's very much a drug that's based on weight. You might need a bit more even just to feel something. We went to 250, so we went to 200, 250, didn't feel nothing. I literally ran it for 9 days straight. With this stuff that I give to Riz years ago, I bought a lot of them a long time ago. They're like little yellow, proper tabs, 50 mg each. You take 2 of them before bed for 4 days, and you were sweating, and you was sweating just from 100 mg, which is as it should be. Yeah. So they're definitely off. But this is 10 days on dieting.
Yeah, way back. Massively.
And I expected a big drop in weight. I thought I must have dropped 8 or 9 pounds. I got on the scales. I was like, how long have I dropped? 4 pounds?
Because you'll put weight on because it's
water. No, but I hadn't been taking the DMP then because it was fake.
Right.
So
that's also what Skip Hill and that said, is they said that the smell of it apparently is like awful. Apparently you can smell
DHB.
The DHB, yeah. They said
DMP.
You can smell it. It's really potent, the DHB.
Oh,
and they said your sweat is like, obviously the ammonia you get from Tren, it's like that times 10 apparently.
Well, mine had crashed that I got off raw, not drastically. So I just filled the sink full of boiling hot water, dropped the bottle in and left it for about an hour. And now there's a few shards of like what looks like glass stuck to the bottom of it. But apart from that, it's fine. And I haven't had to do that again. Now I'm mixing mine with at least another 2 ml of other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's diluted down with ROM stuff or raw stuff. But so far, I can feel it a bit more than if it was all just normal stuff, I won't lie. But it's not giving me any really bad pain. To be honest, I've got no bad pain. Yeah. I can just feel it at the site longer than normal. Yeah.
I got some bullion DHB and it all crashed. I left it on the radiator.
I got some Medtech
stuff. It fixed itself.
I've got a few bottles now, and it's perfect, clear as day,
Perfect.
nothing in it at all.
What's the
Well,
milligram?
100 megs per mil.
Yeah, the raw one's 75. One of my clients, Stephen, he just got some of the bullion one. He said it crashed as soon as he got it.
Bullion.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, bullion. Yeah.
Bro, it is very, very cold at the moment as well. So
Yeah.
shit's getting set in the post, I believe. So it's gonna fucking crash, isn't it?
Yeah. I hate the packaging of that bullion stuff. It's like that fucking AU vodka.
I think it's quite cool. Little gold boxes.
I don't like it.
Do
It's
you
a
know
little
what I
bit
find
tacky,
a lot of the labs, like, the best gear is in labs that like have literally no fucking presentation, no
Yeah.
fucking packaging. The ones that are like packaged up all fancy and shit, they're always bunk and they're always shit. Whenever like a client sends, like, because clients I'll ask, I'll say, what gear, what brand are you using? And they'll go, oh, it looks banging, it's really good, it's an amps. I'm like, it's fake. Don't even show me what it is.
The worst one is the Swiss Farmer. They're like, oh my god, it's farmer grade. It's amp. I was like, bro, that's literally like 4 milligram of testosterone per 100 per mil.
Absolute dog shit. Bottom tier.
Yeah,
Tier.
literally.
And you know what actually something I wanted to bring up is, I don't know if you guys are see a lot of these like groups on Facebook that are like people will rate their gear and stuff. And it was a thing kicking off the other day about, because one of the lab owners put on his page, and he was like, look, some people are slating our lab, but that was from like a while back when someone else owned it, and now it's changed hands. So obviously now, can you guys go and not make up reviews, but review the lab and say that it's really good? And obviously people are kicking off and they're like, you shouldn't be like self-engineering like reviews and things like that. And it was all kicking off, and it's like, you see that a lot so much on there, don't you, now, where it's not, you can't even trust it anymore because people are paying.
I don't know why people buy labs with shit rep. Just put another sticker on it, at least, you lazy fucking cocksuckers.
I was contacted by one recently that apparently Ryan Mackin, Josh Law, and all that use. He said, could he sponsor me?
Called?
Who's that? Start with a V.
Let me find it.
You know, I've never, ever bought gear offline from some fucking dodgy group, chap.
Never.
Nah.
I
know the one. I know what you're talking about, and that's the. I think you must have seen that.
You're on about Viagen, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, that's good. Viagen's good. That was that is a good brand. Their GH absolutely fucking slaps. If I'm not mistaken.
I thought they messaged you. Did they message you?
No, it wasn't them.
I thought Ryan used that.
No, sorry, not Ryan Mackins and Josh Law. Apparently they are using it. Let me find his name.
I don't know what Ryan uses. I'll ask him, but Ryan just uses like anything. Ryan, sometimes I'll say to him like, "What do you use?" And he'll be like, "I don't know, whatever." I don't even care. But
they're the best sort of people, though, aren't they? They just use what they're fucking given, mate. And he looks good, there, doesn't he? So it's
and he's like, Ryan, like, does not give a fuck. He'll just use anything.
Well, look at James. James looked his best last year, and he was using stuff that a sponsor was giving him. He was like, "I'll just use this."
Yeah.
Where's the fucking name?
And there are just so many labs now. Like, there was a question actually last week that we didn't answer, but people were like, "Oh, what are the best labs to use?" Or like, "What labs do you guys use?" And it's like, mate, it's all the same shit. Like, people aren't faking gear anymore. Like, hardly ever are people gonna fake stuff. Like, do you know what I mean?
Bro, like, someone commented on the YouTube, "Oh, you all seem to be using UGLs, and you all have you favour one. Like, you'll favour one, like, between, like, each." And I thought, listen, yeah, because you're all from different areas. There's different stuff around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always found at the moment, and I look at a lot of blood work, and then between us we have a lot of clients, and I speak to quite a few people that are, whether they're pros or very high up amateurs, as we all do. In a general consensus for me, we all know in general ROM is pretty good 99% of the time. MedTech is pretty good 99% of the time. We know that raw lately has been bang on 99% of the time. We've all checked our bloods. You know, we have Chudley, what's the one you use?
Adelphi.
I've got clients using Adelphi. Seems to be good 99% of the time. What I struggle to understand is if there's loads of podcasts, or there's a few podcasts like ours, where people know we are well connected, and we know people that are well connected, and they're all using the same labs. Why you would want to risk using anything else is my opinion. Like, hang on, Kuba says he uses this, Jordan says he uses this, Nate Styles says he's using this, Deck Hilly, Chudley Riz say they're using this. Oh, fucking hell. It turns out they're all using the same 3 fucking labs. Why then would you take anything else? Like, exactly. It's the only thing that blows my mind. And it's like in anything else. Like, I would rather pay more for something that I know people that I either follow, admire, or respect are using than take a risk on something else if I've got a fucking bottle. Or I just don't understand why you would take the risks, because we've all been stung with fake gear at some point, and it isn't about the wasted money. I got sent this stuff years ago. If I had boxes of it now, right, it looked like the best pharmaceutical grade ghee you've ever seen. And I ran it for 8 weeks, and when I tested my bloods, it was dog shit. And it wasn't about the fact whether I'd paid for it, whether I hadn't done. It was about the fact that I'd wasted fucking 8 weeks. That's the killer.
This lab's called Purifarm.
Right.
Apparently, yeah, Ryan Mackins, Josh Malley, Josh Law, Jack Gunn, Nathan Robinson,
I'll
Alex
message
Lord,
Ryan
Paul
now.
Senior.
Yeah. Do you know what I don't like? Do you know what I don't like?
Wait,
I don't like.
So wait, so someone said that to you. Someone said to you that they use that stuff.
I'm not going to say his name, but he says, yeah, evening, bro. I own a lab and we're looking to expand our team of sponsored athletes. I was wondering if you had a sponsor cut currently and if you would be interested. You'd be joining a very strong team with us, such as I'm also a former top-level bodybuilder. Our product line is all about quality for these athletes.
Okay. I've just messaged Ryan. I said, do you use a lab called Pura
Purifarm.
Farm?
He did tag him all the other day, and I think Josh Law did reshare it, so he might be chatting shit. He might not. I don't know. But
Again,
I'm very much a weirdo in the sense of, I snap that and smell it, Riz. I paid 80 quid for that in South Africa. The smell of it is pure Trenkopf. You're on mute, bro.
Honey, it was.
I've said it's Alpha Pharma and it's out of date 2015. I purely keep it in the collection. That's going to be
That sounds lethal.
when he turns pro. It's going to be the last amp that he uses.
That's the other thing I can't stand is when people reach out about stuff and try to say other well-known bodybuilders use their gear when they probably don't.
No.
Like,
The best thing is, Hilly, when someone says, "Oh, what brand you use?" and you're like, MedTech, Chiron, whatever, and they're like, "Is it good?" No, bro, I just use shit.
Yeah.
I just use shit, bro.
And like it was like Hilly said, I ain't wasted any time with this stuff. So like, what if it's broken? Why would I want to fucking fix it? I'm not even going to trial something if I know what I've got is affordable to me. I can get it on tap and it works for me. Why would I fucking change? Yeah, there's certain times I'll not be able to get all the mass and I'll need to get some ROM or whatever and all that sort of stuff. But I would only go back to labs that I know that you boys use. You know what I mean?
And sometimes the lab that I'm using might not do, I don't know, DHB.
Yeah.
So then I'll go, right, branch out, get it elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not like if it did, then I wouldn't then go out of my way to, grab it somewhere else.
No.
I would never ever go to one of these little labs. You just pop up and they do these little mad deals and shit. It's just not my type of thing, bro.
I did absolutely blag this company from Iran once. They were like, "Oh, if we send you some free gear, will you post all over your socials?" Like, yeah, man. They gave me a little list, and I just ticked every fucking thing off it. They sent it all. It came in a week, and I posted nothing. But remember, they gave me that oral Prima Bolan.
Yes.
Bruh, the pumps off this stuff was fucking lethal. Like, I'm not even joking.
Rom do that.
I would take it and brush my teeth, and my forearms would just swell up. It's fucking mental.
Mad.
And he just texted me loads of abuse on Instagram.
Promote gear on their Instagrams. Like, to me, that's just asinine. Like, why would you even do that? And you see that quite a lot. It's like, why do that?
There's a couple of lads I know around here that sell gear, and they advertise it on their Instagram, and they instantly get blocked from me. You're blocked, you're unfollowed, like you're a fucking idiot.
One, it's annoying for us to see that, because I don't want to see you posting fucking your gear all the time. And two, surely, like, you've got a bit of a fucking brain. You shouldn't be doing that.
I had a kid that I had to block the other week, and he's obviously a baller because he got some fat whips and some watches and stuff. But he's one of those people that sells gear that has no fucking clue what they're talking about. Like, he still says, like, Winnie, it will get you lean. He's like one of those.
Yeah.
He actually posted on his story. He actually posted on his story. The science says that by taking growth hormone for longer than 6 months will make your penis grow. I shit you not. I blocked him straight away.
Hold on, let me see that. I'm just going to message the plug. Can I have 50,000 bucks?
I literally blocked him straight away.
Yeah.
Bro, if it did that, if it did that, every single guy, you'd have guys in debt, bro.
Bro, I'd have a tripod.
Shit. Exactly.
If it did that, we'd all have fucking massive dicks, wouldn't we?
And I ain't got that, because if I did, I'd be on OnlyFans, mate.
Yes, exactly. Simple as fucking that. Idiots.
I've seen Nathan Styles was passing by the other day, and he came and popped in, And I swear to God, this guy's so big, yeah. He was at my door, and I was like, why can't I see no sunlight? I opened the door, and he's there. I looked at him and I goes, fucking hell, bro.
Tell you
He
what
sat,
looks super impressive. How he's brought, but is the quad up that was behind.
I know. I
The
don't know
what?
how common knowledge it was how bad he's got one big leg, one small leg, but
Yeah.
his most recent photos, you can
Can't tell
bet
you
Can't
he's
difference.
tell. Can't tell
No,
at all, can you?
no, and he's been doing loads of one leg work and whatnot. I've seen in his training, but very impressive indeed. Very impressive.
Hilly,
Riz,
do you think?
that turbojet?
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Riz, would turbojet work in like quads and things like that, or is it more? Because someone asked me and said, "Oh, will that work in my quads?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to ask Riz, but I don't think it will.
I'm going to
think
start
personally-
playing with it. I'm going to start playing with it around, not yet, like close towards the end of prep, around those refeed periods, like to try and nail the peak. When I'm very flat, and let's say me and Hilly, we either do off plan in a single high day or off plan in a double high day, depending kind of what weight does. On that single high day, I want to do the off plan the night before. The night before, load up, not load, say I would do a meal up. I would do 3 shots of a meal up my quad sweep.
Yeah.
Maybe move some blood around it in the gym that evening, if that makes sense. So it's all moved around and spread evenly, and then see how that looks the next day. But I think it has its place. I think if people understand, it's not going to make you look like you've got a bigger muscle, but let's just say your muscle at its fullest point, I think it has the capability to mirror that. So if you can
Yeah.
do that with having less risk of spilling over with food, why wouldn't you? And I think if we can get away using a off-plan meal and a single high day and using that as Jimmy up, say, delts, pecs, biceps, and quads, or lats as an example, it's a win-win situation, really, as long as it doesn't look daft.
Well,
Do
because
you not think that
especially,
it might blur some of the lines? Because obviously it causes a
It
lot of
won't.
confusion.
well, we'll have to just experiment with it 3 weeks out,
Just,
Yeah.
4 weeks out.
obviously that from the inflammatory response though.
Yeah,
Well, because you see, if it works like Dick thinks it might, you could put it in with a high when we increase food for the load for the show. And what it would allow you to do is run a little bit longer, flatter, to get that drier look, but keep the fullness.
yeah. You know those
Do you know-
little sessions you plan in here on the peak week, the depleting sessions? I think
yeah.
that's where they're going to have a real place on the last leg.
Well, because what my thinking is, we all know that like in the 90s, they were using the escalate, and they were just running flat and using that to bring the fullness up, right? Because we all, from what we tend to see is, say Deck, use Deck as example, say he does a free meal Friday, high day Saturday, then we go low. He's super full Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, he's got the right balance. The next day, there is more detail, but you've lost your bit of pop where you lose it. Now, if you can put this stuff where you lose that pop, and it allows you to get that extra bit of grainy or hardness without losing the pop, it's a fucking win, isn't it?
I think the only issue with it is because I used it in my biceps when I posted that picture of doing a foot double, yeah. And bro, my arms were so swollen, yeah. It was like it lost every single line of my arm. That's what you don't want either. I only put in
Yeah.
0.5.
Yeah, but
in
you're
each
never
head.
you're never going to be that, and that's what I was thinking the night before. But I think the turbocharged, I think that's going to have a real good place around that loading period as well, that pump up period. Like if you can, let's say, microdose into those sites that you're going to be pumping up as an example. Let's say you're going to do a meal and you split that up between pecs, biceps, whatever. Because I've noticed on a weekend, because I train with less food in, so I stay very dry for that session. Hence why I always post pictures on a weekend. I think I've noticed it doesn't blur any detail. So like the drops and that give me mad pumps without kind of any like loss of detail or wateriness, you know. So I think I'll
But
use all 3.
As much as it's my own product, and I should sit here like hyping it up, yeah. Listen, fuck that. Just use more Halo, use more Winnie, and you get the same look on it.
I think you're wrong. I think it's a game changer. I think if you know how to use it, and I think if you can get the balance right with it, I like Hilly said, it's all everybody did in the 90s. Like you go watch that thing with Flex Wheeler and Dennis James.
Yeah.
Chris Cormier had 18 syringes loaded up in his hotel room, ready to do every muscle group.
But I know I'm not going to say his name. Can I say his name? Actually, Ryan Reiner, I was chatting to him. He goes, when the show that he turned pro at, he goes, he had to roll in obviously super flat because of the weight cap. He goes, the missus loaded him up with 16 mil or something in every
Yeah.
single possible area, and he goes, mate, I look fucking mega.
Yeah.
So
And
it
I think-
obviously works.
Yeah, I think it can give you that look. I just think you have to be sensitive with the dosages. Like I said, I'm talking 1 mil shot. So in 3 places in the quads, like a pec, it would be maybe 2
0.5.
mil. Yeah, or 2 mil across, like 1 mil either side, and then pump it up a little bit. Biceps 1 mil. I wouldn't do my triceps, so I don't need any fullness in those at all. I would definitely do lats. Again, there's no lines in your lats, and like that's a muscle you're not going to blur any detail in. So I think you can get away with a little bit more in there. I'm not going to do it, but I think there's a potential place for it in traps as well, because that's kind of what Chris Colmero was saying. That's something they really use the
There's
ethylene for.
so many nerves there, bruv, though,
Yeah.
in your traps.
Yeah, I loaded up my gear a few weeks back, and I was going to do my traps, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Couldn't. The thought of it made me cringe.
If I were you, Deck, I'd just put in my tricep just to make them look fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, if that
Go on,
were
then.
me, I just would do it. I mean, look at like Lavroni, right? His arms are fucking stupid. They still used to put it in there and just makes it just
Yeah.
fucking look retarded.
I've
Do you know
never
what I mean?
used. I've only ever used it in my pecs, but I will use it in my biceps. But I still, even pinning that fucking turbocharger, my bicep cringes me fucking out, man. Like I can't get my head around it.
If you can do it in the outside peak, it's like painless.
I've been doing it in the inside, but I've got quite veiny
Yeah.
biceps, so I've got to like dodge. I've got to tent, see where the veins are, relax, and then get it in between them.
Because, bro, when you make your peak, you make it there, yeah, and you relax it, and it comes down. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, and if the shot's actually up by your armpit, it's up here.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was
Yeah.
like, where do I pin it? Because there's like a big nerve that runs through there as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Your arm.
It'll be fun. Definitely going to experiment with it for sure, though. 100%.
What's the
What's
show
that?
dates?
I'm not telling you.
What's the show dates,
I
Silly?
fucking told you. If you tell it on air, I'll literally chin you.
Do you know
I'm just
what?
going to open up.
I think it's a good shout for us to actually talk about goals for 2024, because we haven't actually spoken about that. I think that's it might be a good shout for us to kind of speak about
Yeah.
that. And
I've
just,
got a question,
'cause really,
actually.
like,
What's Dan Bastic doing? Is he prepping?
No,
You're lying. I can see in your face.
That was the worst. That was the worst.
he's not. He's not prepping. We're doing
He's
what
not.
Deck did. He's not prepping. We're doing what Deck did.
He's
So
getting-
we're gonna come down, dieting, assess how he looks, and then if we get to a point where we're still having fun and we're happy, then we might say, right, well, let's go from there. Because he had such an unhappy prep, or
Yes.
I don't think he was pleased with how everything went last year, which is why he made a post the other day. He literally sent me those pictures. He was like, Hilly, I just want you to know how fucking happy I am looking at these pictures. Because he said the picture from last year, he was blasting everything and had been blasting for a long time. He said he didn't feel good. He wasn't having fun. And he said, we're using less gear. We've done 2 health phases. He said, I'm having a shit ton of fun. And he said, I look so much better. So
He
we
looks
just,
better.
He looks
He
so
looks
much
better.
healthier, man. Like,
yeah,
it's fucking nut. Like, his face, like, everything just looks healthier. Skin on his back, he looks tighter. His skin looks clean in his front shots. Like, it's nice as well to
Between
see.
his pecs,
It's easy.
all
It
them
sounds like
spots have gone.
you can see in like the posts he's putting. He's just happy. Like he's enjoying it again. He's back into the swing of it. You know.
I mean,
which
year,
is-
literally this time last year, me and Dan, like we were chatting because we did a few podcasts, and we were literally talking about that. And he was like, "Yeah, I literally have pretty much blasted like for however long." And then he was like, "We did blood work." He said, "My blood work came back fine. Just because it comes back fine, it doesn't mean that you're healthy." But he goes, "Because it came back fine, we carried on." So
it's more the
that was his way of-
it's
that
the
was obviously
feeling,
him-
isn't it, of toxicity. It's the feeling of toxicity. You know, when you start to feel a bit dirty toward. I only get it like the tail end of peak off season where you start to feel a bit like meh. Like I could do a bit of extra sleep, a bit slow and a bit lethargic. I think that's
Yeah.
when
At the end of the day, though, Dan is the athlete, so he will just do what the coach says. So if his coach says you'll take gear, he will just take it, you know, because
Yeah.
that's what he does.
But I think
All do.
Dan's the kind of person where, because he obviously respects Hilly a lot, he just does what Hilly says. He doesn't have to question it. Do you know what I mean? When you start questioning, that's when your head goes into a bit of a mess.
I bet you, like Hilly, that's one of the hardest things for someone like Dan, because Dan is a really good coach himself. He knows a lot. So to turn someone like that and actually go, actually, we're going to do that, and him not question it, that just says like how much he trusts you, and you know
we
how
all
much
knew
he
that
kind
was
of
going to happen, though,
respects
didn't
your-
we? We all said,
What's
like
that?
at the start, like we all said, if Dan buys into it and just kind of pins his ears back and listen, like it will be the correct coach for you. And I think, like, I don't think it was a given. I don't think he walked in there and said, "I'm just going to do exactly what Hilly says." I think it was a case of
But
the
he pretty
initial
much did,
period
though, didn't
worked
he?
really well.
Yeah, well, and he did, but not just that. I think what works really well is, and this is what I do with everybody, as you know, I am very big on explaining my reasoning behind something. So I'm like, listen, this is how I have it mapped out, and this is what I say to Dan all the time. So like yesterday, I asked him what your peak doses were. Have been here before? When have you brought this in before? I got him to send me everything he's done in preps before, what he thought worked well, what he thought didn't, why. So what I and what I've and when it is working with people like you three or people like Dan, I think it's important to explain your whys and your reasons and discuss it. And that doesn't mean that I want to go tit for tat with it, but when the more you know, the more difficult it can be to be coached. But I think if you've got someone who also knows a lot, and if they can say to you, listen, this is why we're doing this. This is the reason, and this is my thinking. It can make it a lot more acceptable. And we've both gone, and we are, as I do with Deck, as I did with you, we've been working together on things. So Dan thought it would work better in the off season to drop down to 5 meals. So we dropped down to 5 meals, and that's working really good for his digestion. I wanted to just drop down to 4 days training. Dan was a bit like, man, I was like, let's just go with it. And so far, we're just training 4 days and it's working fucking fantastic. So it's very much just like, and I said to Dan the other day, when he said this is good, I said, what is key for me here is that you continue to feel good and you're having fun. I said, as soon as that starts to trend away, then we need to assess something. Because when we all love something like we do this, I think it hurts us more in every way when we're not having fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right for someone that's just into it a bit to be not having fun. But I think for us, Dan doesn't do bodybuilding because he wants an Instagram picture. None of you do bodybuilding because you want an Instagram picture. We all train, especially someone like Dan, because he fucking loves to train and he loves to train hard and he loves to work hard. So I think you've got to keep that fun aspect there. It's just got to be managed so it's productive.
Yeah, this 2 weeks has been like the most unfun bit for me because I'm like in limbo. Like I know Hilly's like, Deck, don't like he pulled my cardio back. He's like, don't you go fucking spin on that bike to make it harder because you're doing less of it. Like I'm at that point where I'm like eating more food. I'm looking a bit worse because the drugs are out. I'm like, oh, I just want to go, but I know I can't go. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking difficult.
That's the hardest part, when you're just sort of in limbo.
Yeah.
I
It's crazy.
literally emailed Dex saying, do not fucking put your heart rate up any further because I've dropped the fucking time down. Do not
I
fucking...
promise.
Just because I pulled it back to 25 minutes, that doesn't mean you do a fucking sprint cycle 25 minutes.
So I remember
You
when
know-
I used to train with Ed, and I went to Hilly goes, I'm going to pull your sets back. He pulled them all down, and I still feel fucked. He goes, what you been doing? I goes, failure, everything. He goes, I told you not to. Told you not to. So it's that mindset, isn't it?
There's something I've been doing this last couple of weeks with Martin. So the guy I train with, Martin, he needs bigger legs. So I've been playing about with his volume, but he owns his own construction company. So he renovates houses and shit. So he's always on his legs a lot, and obviously he weighs 290 pounds. And when me and him train legs, we fucking annihilate each other. And even though our volume isn't really high, it's probably 14 to 15 all-out work sets. And both of us are sore for days, but we also feel it in our knees and back. So what I said to him was, right, for the next 4 weeks, we're going to do one work and warm-up, which is like a hard set of 8. Then we're going to do one failure set, and then we're going to move on. And I said to him, remind me as we go to not start looking for extra set stuff and shit to add in. We have to keep the same amount of sets. So the same amount of exercises. So we literally tapered our volume back from like 14 failure sets to maybe, I think it was 7 failure sets. And then there's 7 work and warm-up sets, which are hard sets, not a failure. And we were just as sore the day after and the day after that. But our knees weren't hurting. I said to him, what our goal is here is to have soreness in the legs, but to not be telling each other we feel like we've been hit by a bus. And we managed to do that. And I'm going to try and make myself and him keep with that ethos. Because, and this isn't me saying I train too hard, don't. You can always train harder. But I don't know whether actually I have a bad tendency, and I imagine we all do, to take too many sets too far. Because like, I will take my all-out failure set to all-out failure, and then my back-off set, and then add some partials to it, or a drop to it. And I'm doing that right across the board, and I feel like I've been hit by a fucking bus. And I don't know whether that's a little bit too counterproductive. You're just doing too much all of the time.
Yeah, I think like even now, like when I go to do sets, I got like Riz's stupid little head on my shoulder. Like he didn't even mean it like with any purpose, but I think it was when we were training, he was just like, when you're this lean, just get in the gym and get out. Like you're not building any muscle here. Like just get in and get out. And I think that's my biggest downfall is when I think there's more there, I will go for it. If I think I can get more of a pump, I will go for it. And I think that's what that whole year off was teaching me, even in the off season, was that you could go get another set, but it's probably not going to be productive. You know, it's just a case of just maintaining what I've got now. I ain't going to grow any new muscle. You know.
I think where you are now, Dec, you have to realise you are not going to grow anything.
No.
Obviously, the gear's obviously pretty damn fucking low. And if anything, bro, to preserve muscle, you don't have to do your all-out working sets. You can just do, let's say you're doing a total of 15 sets, you can just do 10.
Yeah.
And but that's hard to accept. I can't. I hate accepting that. It pisses me off.
Well, that's why I've done it with me and Malaton, because I'm in a deficit. He's moving back to a surplus. So we ran more volume. We've been running the same program, the same training setup since June last year, and we're not going to change it. And I'm going to leave his upper body the same because he doesn't need as much upper body, and I feel it's a little bit different. But what's going to be interesting is to see how my legs hold up and change with the low volume and a deficit, but how his legs hold up and grow in comparison to last year with half the volume. It'll be interesting to see.
It's really interesting how it's so body part specific as well. Like, I can be flat, batter my legs, and I will still have every ounce of detail in them the next day. Like, we've seen it time and time again in check-ins. But like, if I was to do that with my chest, I will have no chest in the morning. Like, it will just be like a loose skin. Does that make sense? So you have to like work out for yourself, like which muscle groups can take that and which can't. Like, my back will take abuse all day. So it's one of my stronger parts and it never really flattens out. We know that when it's flat, it's time to fucking feed some food. And if my back's starting to look flat, so it's just, you have to understand what body parts you can get away with it with and what ones you can't, you know?
And like I say, the other thing that people forget to factor in is it's all right for those sat at the desk all day with an office. But if you've got someone that's 250, 260, 270, 280 pound, and they've got a manual job all day, or even if, what people forget is, even if they're walking around all day, it's a different thing for someone walking around at 290 pound than it is us me walking around at 230. It all has an impact on the stress that going through your fucking legs.
Yeah. So
Ryan just said,
oh yeah.
Yeah, because I asked him, does he use it? He goes, yeah, I do. I'm sponsored by him. So obviously, the guy's not lying.
Interesting. Right, so I think Chudley's thing was a good idea. Goals for 2024.
You know what?
You go first, Chud.
Before we go on that, question that me and Ryan spoke about on the podcast is actually quite an interesting topic that I had my take, he had his take, and it'd be interesting to see what you lot would say. So he said, let's say we take a hack squat. And let's say you do 8 plates aside for your top set, you rest 5, 6, 10 minutes, and you do your back off set. Or would you do, let's say, 4 plates, and then rest only, let's say, 30 seconds, and then go again, rest 30 seconds, go again, just do more sets? Is that the same as doing the other option? And what's better?
On the same weight?
No. You're doing less weight, but you're making the muscle feel like you're lifting. You know what I mean? You know when people say make 4 plates feel like 8.
It's in theory, I get when people say this shit, but anybody who the anecdotal evidence, it just doesn't work. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, you know, there's times where you're like, my ego's getting the better of me here. I need to back off and tidy up my form. I lose fullness in that muscle when I do that every time. Yes, it is.
No, we're saying that the form is impeccable in both sets. Both sets, the form is spot on.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Perfect form.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
what I'm saying is going down to 4.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if I have the capability, say, in my quads to do the 8 plates, and I opt to do the 4 plates, but let's say more volume or less rest in between, my legs after 8 plates will look far better after the inflammation's gone, if you like, rather than the 4 sets. So I think the problem with those higher volume stuff is you can almost like deplete the muscle of its glycogen. Like, you're overdoing the muscle. It doesn't like that. Your goal is to stimulate it, not annihilate it. And I think doing the 1 working set and 1 back off set is easier to manage that rather than just doing as many sets as possible until you think you've got that failure point. Does that make sense?
Well, this is I said exactly the same thing. I said it's not the same, and I said anytime you see, because he goes, well, a load of bodybuilders do it, and I'm like, they do, but they're also really strong, have been strong at one point or another. And I said it's not the same, because he goes, well, will that not work the same way? Because he's kind of changing up training a little bit like that. And I said, it's not. And he goes, well, you're not letting yourself recover to the point where you're fully recovered. I'm like, but you want to let yourself recover fully.
No, but you see, I'm a bit in the middle, right? So I do, Dex is how I train. I don't count any sets to the working set, yeah? Like a JP style set. I do the first set, which is my first working set, which is my top set. Mm-hmm. Let's say it's, just for number's sake, 10 plates, yeah? 10 plates. I destroy that, wait 2 minutes, 8 plates, that's my back off. Then I do 6 plate, back off. So I go down like that, but still have a short rest. I don't have a long rest period. Maximum 2 to 3 minutes,
I think
and I'm
someone
back on it.
someone like Ryan, he'll try this and go straight back to what he's always done. And this is what people fail to understand. In theory, it's great, but let's take Ryan's back rows. Like, they're pretty impressive. I think he rows like 5 plates, and the form isn't fantastic, but he has a phenomenal back. That total
Yeah.
stress of him holding that weight in that position is what has developed his back so much. If he now tries to go and half the weight and do more volume over, say, 5 sets, he will lose. He's not going to lose his back, but I guarantee you he will lose progress or lose fullness in his back. I put money on it.
So
I'd say that's true as well, because like strength is like genetic. If you're someone that's naturally strong, that won't work because that's just your baseline. That 5 plates is just your baseline. If you're someone that can do 3 plates and you go down to 2, that's different.
I think the way I look at it, I think if we try and be, if you look at it how maybe like in a science, or even though I can't say all of the science, I think the two opposites there, them two examples are too extreme. So for me, if you can say do a hack squat for 8 plates, for 8 reps, I think that if you're working up with that, just 1 set, I would say that if you were doing 2 or 3 sets of, say, 6 plates, I think you could probably say that it would contribute to the same muscle damage. So you might be able to build up the muscle to there.
He's talking about only resting 30 seconds, so you can't do that.
No, I know. Let me get there.
Right.
But I don't think that going down to 4 from 8 and reducing the rest periods would give you the same type of stress and breakdown of the muscle to create the same growth that 8 plates would. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think in terms of the muscle signaling, creating damage with 1 set of 8 plates or creating damage with 3 sets of 6 plates, I think would be similar. But I don't think you could, if you can lift 6 plates for 3 sets of 8, or if you can lift 8 plates for 1 set of 8, I don't think you would get the same signaling and stress on the muscle from 4 sets, even if you reduce the rest periods. I think what would happen is you would start stimulating the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy that Patrick Chu and Milos talks about. And I think I'm going the long way about this, so apologies. So I think what might happen in the short term is that Ryan will do, if Ryan started training everything like that, he might see a different look to his muscle, because his muscle might start to learn to hold more glycogen. He might start getting a bit of a rounder look. But I don't think he would ever be able to build the amount of muscle he has working up to 8 if he was always doing his training like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more just saying like stimulating muscle instead of almost like every set stimulates a little bit of muscle. And I said, scientifically, it doesn't work like that, does it? It's not like, it's almost like a switch.
No.
You do a set and you either stimulate muscle or you don't. There's no like, you kind of stimulate muscle and in the next set kind of stimulate muscle and it accumulates. It's not like that. That's why I said, like, you see a load of people that train like shit in the gym. They do tons of sets. They're in there for 3 hours and never look any different because you never actually stimulate muscle.
And that 8, so let's say that 8 plate, right? Let's use Ryan as an example. That stress is what signaled his muscle to look like it is now. He can never go back now. I don't care what anyone says. He cannot change that now because his muscle, and like Killy says, potentially with the sarcoplasmic training, you can train the body to hold more glycogen, absolutely. But for it to grow past that point, he has to reach a new level of failure. Like, he can't go backwards now. It doesn't work. Like, JP tried it and for a fair bit of time, and he had to go back to just absolutely slanging weight. But was this the same conversation that he said about Samson and James Hollinshead? And you said because he's black.
Yes.
Okay, but there is an easy answer to this. He's not wrong. Samson is a genetic anomaly. Now, if you get Samson to train like James, you have Ronnie Coleman. This is the difference. Like, this is what he needs to understand is Samson has built what he has by doing this giant set called Fluffy Sessions. If you watch him in his content, he just walks around the gym doing mad supersets and shit. Now, if you put James's brain in Samson's body, you will see something you've never seen with this earth before. And that's the difference. That's where the genetics is a massive factor. But what James does, I believe, is the most optimal version of getting muscle out of your genetics. So that makes sense. He's completed bodybuilding, in my opinion, James, because I don't believe he's the genetic elite. He's got far better genetics than all of us, but I don't believe he is the elite. But he's up there standing with those guys, pound for pound to a degree, and he's done it by bullying muscle on his body in the hardest way possible.
And you have to remember as well that even Milos and Patrick Chur, who are big fans of training like that, they all still have heavy straight sets in their plans. They are not just doing all giant sets or all this. Milos will have you do the first two exercises all out training. I do think that you need heavy all out work sets, tapering your weight up. Now, I do think that the difference where people get confused is going back to that same example. You can just focus on do that one set and a back off set, or just the one set like Dorian did, and you can hammer away. Or you can do something like Mike Israel and whatnot prefer, or John Meadows, where they might have you do 2 or 3 all out failure sets with a slightly less weight. And like I watched the YouTube the other day, and it was Phil Heath, and he was saying when he was younger, he'd messaged Jay Cutler saying, "For Jay, I've just inclined dumbbell pressed the 180s or something." And Jay was like, "Why the fuck would you do that when you can get the same growth by doing 3 sets out the 140s or 150s?"
I saw
and
that.
Was like,
that was the one with
yeah.
Derek, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so what I'm saying there is that if you can maybe do 1 set of 8 reps with the 170s on dumbbells, or you can do 3 sets of 8 with the 140s or 150s, I do think that that is a way they are both able to build as much muscle, because one is using the heavier weight with the 1 set to maximally stimulate. The other one is using 2 or 3 heavy sets to create the same stimulation.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying to you. That's how I train. I think that way makes the most sense.
But then,
so your first set is your all-out set. Yeah, you only have about a 2-minute rest, and then you do 6 plate from 8 plate to 6 plate. You bang it out. You take it to failure again. Then you do 5 plate after a minute rest and failure again. Because it is just pyramiding downwards.
I agree with that. I do, but then it's the case of, okay, they both work. Yeah, and I do agree with both of those examples. Now, what's the most efficient? The one working set. You get the same results, but it's a single. Granted, you have to there's CNS management and so on, and potential injury risk. But the heavier set and the one back off set is more efficient because it's only 2 sets rather than the 3 sets. So your total volume is lower, which means you can get out of the gym faster and recover faster. So, to me,
I think that's if you're not injury prone. So like someone like Brian, he can't do that because he'll get hurt.
Yeah.
And
well, and I'll
if
just
he's so strong, he will definitely get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say that. So myself as a prime example, if I don't do that heavy set of 8 that's not to failure before my failure set now, I can go heavier and my knees are in bits. So for example, this is what I was saying to Martin. When we do our leg press now, I've always done this, and most of my plans are like this. We'll do hamstring curls first, and then we'll do extensions. So a bit of a pre-fatigue, but mainly to warm the joints up, the muscles up and whatnot. The other week I was doing sets of 8. I'm not deep off season. I went 5 plates, 7 plates, 9 plates, 11 plates. And I got 11 plates aside for 12 reps. Now, if I had only done an 8, a 6 and a 4, I would be at 12 or 13 plates on either side. And that's like 500 kilo. What I find is once I get to that weight, my knees are in agony. My CNS is absolutely fucked. Everything just doesn't feel nice. So what I was trying to explain to Martin was, for me, where I'm at now, I feel it makes more sense to do the heavier 8 before, or even 2. So instead of having to go to 13, I can go with 11 because I've done 2 work sets before it. But when I was younger, as Dex says, I'm only doing those 2 sets of 8 first. So I don't have to go as heavy, but I need to do the 2 or 3 to get the same stimulation I would out of the 1 of 13 plates aside.
And I think,
And that's just because for me, the last time I went to 13 plates aside of something stupid, I could barely fucking walk for a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm 37-year-old. I'm not like, my legs are my biggest body part anyway. Do I need to be worried about not being able to pick my fucking daughter up here? And then the other thing is though, well, actually, I might be getting old enough to start being sensible. If I can get the same stimulation out of doing 11 plates, instead of having to go to 13, does that not make sense for longevity? And then you can flip it round and be like, well, the guys that really were doing it the efficient way, like Dex is, most of them have got a fair few injuries. Yep. James doesn't. He seems to be very lucky that way. Jordan's tore every muscle in his body. And there's a lot of people that have. And then you look at Jay Cutler, who's pretty damn fucking healthy, and he was one of the biggest guys on the planet. So, and then So you can then go, well, one's the most efficient, but how's your joints going to be in 10 years? Because I was doing that most efficient one set. And I can tell you what, if I go back to that now, I was struggling to open the fridge at one point after training back. Everything hurts. So is there a time and a place for it? How does your body handle it? And I think, again, it's what we always say. Everything has to be so specific for the person, where they're at and how the body is. If I have any clients that are my age or older, I don't want them to train like that. It doesn't make any sense. You know, if I can get someone that's a bit older to get the same stimulus, but they've got to do 2 or 3 sets out of a less weight, when they're a bit of an older gentleman, then that makes sense. The other thing is, it's finding that balance of enjoyment. What I have found is, if I've got to do 3 work sets with the same weight, I'm losing enjoyment by set 3.
I mean,
If I'm doing 2 of the same weight, it's okay. But what I actually found last week was, with legs, doing that heavy set of fucking 8 that wasn't all out failure, and then going a bit heavier, I enjoyed doing both those sets. Because I was like, keep a little bit back because you're going to go fucking heavier. But then I wasn't like, shit, I've got to put 13 plates on here and go fucking mental. Like, will my knees hold up? Will I break? And that's actually, if you watch any of Dorian Yates' training videos, that's actually exactly what he did.
Yeah.
He was always doing a heavy set of 6 to 8, and then he would go into his all-out failure set.
I think also, like Chud said, it's applicable, but people need to stop looking at his sets and look at the whole session. Like, if you look at that progressive overload and sarcoplasmic training, like, it doesn't have to be within the exercise. Like, I look at it, I do it by the whole session. So, like, I will do the sarcoplasmic work initially to warm my joints, drive fullness into the muscle, as an example, in a leg extension. Then I'll go to the meathead stuff of a single working set, which will be a big, heavy squat. Potentially that would destroy me, so I may only do 1 set and potentially back off. If it's a huge set like I did tonight, I'll do a single set. And then I go on to back to the sarcoplasmic stuff. And then the final quarter, if you like, of the session is more like the intensifier stuff that me and Riz did a lot of, which is like the drop sets, the superset, giant sets, and that sort of stuff. And I think if you look at it over the session rather than just within the exercise, it makes it far easier to manage, because you can just pluck what works for everybody and map that into your session, rather than just going, I'm going to do Jay Cutler style, I'm going to do Dorian Yates style. Because you can, if you can manage your own fatigue, you can do all of it in a session. You just need to be pretty switched on with it and listen to your body.
I was chatting with my mate the other day, Dan, about leg training, and he goes, mate, your quads really come up. I think my legs have actually always been all right.
Yeah.
He goes, what do you do? He goes, I see you do squat first. I goes, yeah, mate, because I spent a lot of time when I went to Hilly, we would do leg extension first, right? But I find when I do leg extension first, my knees start to hurt because I try to rack it. I would try to rack it. I don't give a fuck. So if I do the squat first, I'm pretty much fucked after 2 sets. Yeah. I'll then do like what Chidley was saying. I'll do leg press, but I'll do 3 plate, 4 plate, 5 plate, and I'll go up. But I'll always do 10 reps. And then at like 6, I'm absolutely fucked. I'll do like 5 reps, and then I just do the hack squat with 1 plate. Literally 1 plate on one side. I go all the way to the bottom, and I stretch it, and then I do leg extension right at the end. But I don't even count the reps. I just carry on going 1 leg at a time, because technically, by the time you rest your left leg, your right leg's recovered. That's what I look at it, and then I just crack on.
Yeah.
Just give me the leg extension. The way I've always done it is, I'll do my hamstring curl, my adductor, and I'll just do like 3 to 4 sets of like low, like no load in it, like very low weight, but I'll just do 20 to 25 reps on it just to get some like blood moving in. Then I'll do my leg pressing and squatting and that. And then I'll go back to the leg extension and do proper sets on it.
Yeah.
Like 2 work sets. But like for me, I've never had knee issues. Like luckily that's one thing that's never been a problem for me. So I can't really even say whether that works better or not. But it's just how I've always done it.
Yeah, I do very similar to Riz, but like the other way. So like where Riz and Hilly do the workup of leg press, I don't do that. I'll do like what Chud says. I'll do 30 reps on no weight as an example, so I know I'm getting used to the movement. And then to a degree, I'm racing to my top set weight. Does that make sense? So I'll do a plate, 1 rep, another plate, 2 reps. And I'm trying to preserve total strength for that top load. Because when I see the younger lads kind of, they run all the way up like 10 reps every time, I just can't see how that doesn't take away from your top set numbers. And we've all done it. Like the other week, the leg extension was taken, so I couldn't do it first. I put an extra plate and a half on my squat. You see what I mean? And that's because my legs aren't fatigued. Now, I still favour doing the leg extension because it's safer for me. I get a lot more blood, and I do feel the quad more, if that makes sense, in the squat. But when you look at it logically, I was far stronger in the squat, if we're talking about efficiency, if I don't do that first. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it, because like I said, risk to reward, injury, that sort of stuff. But on the odd occasion, if I jump into a squat first, I am stronger without that pre-fatigue. So I try and use that logic with other exercises as well.
What
I think
makes
it's
me laugh
body
as
part
well is
dependent as well. So like me and Hilly, take chest for example, or even delts. Like for me to do that on chest, or for me to train my quads the same way I train my chest, it's impossible. Even if I wanted to train my quads, my chest like that, I couldn't. It's just impossible. I need to warm up so much more on chest. I need to do so much more before I get into my actual work than I can on quads. So if you're someone that's got chocolate knees, then at that point, you kind of have to do that anyway.
what makes me laugh as well is everything we're saying is really just the logic of training. You go in, you warm up, then you throw some heavy shit about, and then you decide how you're going to fuck each other up at the end of the workout.
Yeah.
And then you can throw some really clever words on it, and you can call it sarcoplasmic this, and you can call it FST this, and you can call it powerlifting style this. But in reality, you go in, you warm up, you make sure your fucking joints are warm and your muscles are warm, you throw some heavy fucking weight about. Do you do it in 6 reps? Do you do it in 10 reps? Do you do it in 12 reps? Oh, well, actually, you've got dodgy knees, so you keep your reps higher. Well, you feel great. You keep your reps lower. Right, we're now fucked from doing the heavy stuff. Let's see who can do 1,000 leg press reps. Let's see who can do it's people just overcomplicate it to death, as always.
But that's what bodybuilding should be. Like Chris Aceto said, there is no rules.
No.
Just go to the gym. I have a rough plan. If I go to the gym and I want to switch it, I'll switch it up, man. I don't even count the reps. I never count reps. Who counts reps?
And that's where
I
they don't
think
stick to it,
people
because
just
they
like
don't
to go-
get that fun bit. They don't have that enjoyable bit. Like we always said, like destroying your mate on a leg press, or like going at it with each other back to back, or see who can do the worst drop set to each other, or see who can do the most forced reps. Like the people who don't do that stuff are the people who are like, this is fucking tedious after a year. I'm going to go and do high rocks or CrossFit.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
you can always tell when you've trained your legs properly, because if you go on your leg extension first with shorts on, you can see all the detail in your quads. Yeah.
Mm.
Come to it at the end, and your legs just ballooned up.
Yeah.
And there's no line, no nothing. And then I'm like, yeah, man, I trained hard.
A lot
Yeah,
of
tell you
people
what,
try and like fit into the narrative that they kind of fits them mentally. So like someone are like, oh, I don't like to train legs, so I'm going to do just 2 plates on a leg press and make 10 plates feel like 2 plates feel like 10 plates. Well, no, you just don't want to train your legs hard. You're not doing that because of your knees, or you just don't want to train your legs hard, which is fine, but don't come up with some bullshit fucking excuse. Like, I wish I could fucking just go in the gym like I used to back in the day and just start slamming the fucking bench press. I can't do that.
Swinging it out, yeah.
Wish I could.
I swear when I first started training, there was like, I would look around so often and be like, oh, that kid's going to die soon, that kid's going to die. You just don't see that anymore. Like, you know, like the mad little like skinny kids trying to bench to 60k dumbbells and they've got no business doing it. But like, they're always the ones in the end that grow the most muscle. You just don't see that anymore. Like, you look around, nobody's got a bead of sweat on them because it's cold and they can't get their heart rate up. Everyone's sat around their phones texting or talking, all that sort of stuff, or videoing content. Like, it's mental.
Do you know what's mad to me though? I see this kid like on TikTok, and he had a decent amount of muscle, but not enough to warrant 75 kilo dumbbells. And he starts off, he's like, you could see him, he's probably like, I don't know, 210 pounds, not massive, and he's got like the 75 kilo dumbbells like on his
He's
knees.
talking about me, mate, bastard.
No, bro, because he's tall. And he's like, you could just see it's kind of like slim built, and he's got the 75 kilo dumbbells. I'm like, surely that's like a blag video just for like just to get people like watching it. No, he kicks them up, fucking presses them, 8 reps, fucking solid 75 kilo dumbbell, come down. And I'm like, where the fuck is your muscle? Like, how are you pressing that? I would literally break if I got under the 75 kilo dumbbell.
So
now.
that was literally me, and I had no pecs. Like, I shit you not,
But
I
it
was
was
moving.
me too.
I was 75k dumbbells with no pecs, but it was all because do you know where the dumbbells are so big? They're massive, aren't they? Yeah. So I could kick them up easily, like no problem. But if you imagine how big they are, all it is my tricep and front delt. Like, I'm getting no pec because they're so big I can't get down to them. Does that make sense? So I was kicking them up for a year thinking I was going to have Phil Heath tits, and I just never had anything.
But bro, even the
I
bench
think that's
press,
just
like, if you watch, I'll send you a lot. The first time I benched 200 kilo, granted I bounced it off my like pec and just chest and just literally just like slingshotted it up, but I got it up, and I was like 200 pounds. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's right.
200 fucking kilo bench press. I was like skinny, fucking stick thin, and I moved away, and that just shows you it's just obviously practicing. It's just like consistency,
And
I
so
guess.
many bits in your head, like you said, Judge, you're young and dumb. Like, Mate, when I was young, like I would go for things I had no business going. Like honestly, I had no legs and I'd be trying to squat 200 kilos, and I'd fold myself in half, unwrap the weight, put it back up, and go again. I just didn't give a fuck.
Do you feel like now that you like the shit you know now, you're just scared? Because that's me. It's mentally, it's that mental barrier that stops me from doing that shit.
But every time I do chest shit, I literally go thinking, right, mate, I do not want my pec to tear.
Yeah.
And I just think of Hilly. I think I'm not gonna do what Hilly's done, because he always talks about it. His 3-plate on the Smith or whatever, yeah. And now he did it as well, yeah. And I think, nope. I'm like, nope, fuck
I
that.
wish
Let's
so.
get a proper one.
Like I look at some of those kids that do that, and I'm like, I envy that because I had that, and now I can't get to that because it's a mental barrier.
I can still get it, but like I also know it's counterintuitive. Like I don't like training with people. I always train on my own. But I am a show off in the gym. Like if I'm in a new gym and people like, I'll slang weight like for fun. Like and I always lift stupid numbers. So I can do it. But then when I'm on my own environment, I know it's actually counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. And like Riz said with chest, I know I could go in on any Smith and put 4.5, 5 plates on, and I will not get a chest workout. But I know in my own environment, I'll start with 1 plate, make sure I got a load of blood into it, and I'll probably fail in, I suppose, kind of like Ryan said to a degree, because I know my chest is weak and I don't have a good mind to muscle connection with it. I will try to be a bit more patient with it. Does that make sense? Rather than just chuck weight around. Where if it's legs, I'll just do whatever I can because I know they're going to respond. Do you know what I mean?
I think you can do it, and we can do it. But like, you know, when you first start out training and you start getting stronger, that never even that thought never even crosses my mind. Like laying under a bench and I never even thought, is there a chance I get injured here? No, it was never. I didn't even thought about that.
But that's the best thing when you're younger. You don't give a fuck. No. When you're younger, you just don't give a fuck. It's so good. It's so cool.
You think about.
I love seeing those idiots in the gym as well. Like they make me smile. I'll watch them for like half an hour. You just watch them go in there, just chuck weight around like they're having their best time. They're the best people to watch in the gym.
I remember doing like shoulder press dumbbells, right, and just getting to that top set of like 15 each, and I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm fucking big as fuck." So he goes to me one day, he goes, "Why the fuck are you doing that for?" He goes, "Jump on a machine, mate." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll never ever do dumbbell again. Fuck that, bro."
It's just when when you're younger, you just like to move the weight about. But I think that it's important to learn to move the weight about and get everything stabilized before you put the thought pattern, isn't it? Like me injuring myself made me much better in the gym. Because of what I injured, I had to then learn to do things without aggravating it. So it made me think about the muscles more, it made me connect about the muscles more. But it also takes a lot away from my training. Because because I can't go in and I love to deadlift. I'd worked up to a 6-plate side deadlift, and then I couldn't deadlift. So then I was like, right, well, I'll start squatting. Worked up to 5-plate side squatting, and then the doctor was like, don't do that again, son. We all slip discs, you end up in a fucking wheelchair. So then I can't fucking squat my pecs. So it's like when I go and train chest or shoulders, I'll go to a different gym because the shit workouts, because I know there's only so much I can do. So and I think that although I have to be clever and rein things in, it's important that you learn to enjoy to train hard and throw stuff about. It's just then important that you then learn to tame that as you go. I think that. Whereas the problem is, I think people are so focused on trying to tame something that they've never fucking developed. I think that's the issue. You know, like all of us here, Jordan, Kuba, whoever it is, they got strong as fuck first. And then they were like, hang on a minute, where do I go from here? Like, I need to tame this. I can't keep getting stronger because shit keeps breaking. I need to be clever. So then they start looking at being clever with the training volumes, being clever with the weight there. You know, they're looking at all of these other ways because they need to tame what they've built. Whereas now you've got people that they've got nothing to tame, and then they're training like a fucking pussy. And I think, as we always say, I think that's the issue. People haven't learned to just go in and be strong and lift and train hard and fucking kill themselves. And then they're now just fannying about in between.
I sometimes go to the gym and on like my heavy sets, I'll play some like proper gnarly music here. And at the end, I'm like, I need to play something a bit more calming. I just relax for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, we'll just do a few reps and fuck off home. Because if I have that mad shit on, I start doing mad sets for it.
I can't train without music. Like music is my thing. That gets me going big time.
I wait for the drop.
Yeah.
Every time.
At Christmas, I went to the gym at some point in between, and I was having a bad day anyway. Something had gone wrong with something else. And then I got to the gym and my headphones battery was flat. I think I lasted 10 minutes. I honest to God, I could have booted these headphones across the car park. I was like, I'm going home. I need music. But I can't have the music in the gym. I need headphones. I don't like to be able to hear other stuff around me and people talking or things going on. I just need to hear my own. I'm like you, Dick. I enjoy training by myself. I like to just go in and kill myself.
Sounds really
And
silly,
sometimes,
especially with the baby. And it sounds terrible, but with the baby, it's now more than ever. It's like my time. It's me time. Like I ain't got 5 minutes to wipe my ass. If I'm not working, I'm doing something with Honey. And if I'm not doing something with Honey, I'm doing something to help Daisy out at the moment, or I'm doing cardio or get my meals ready. Like that, like hour and a half is just like me, you know.
well, that's why last year and the year before I was getting so annoyed about people asking me questions in the gym, because whether it was my clients or other people, I'd be like, "You've been talking to me since 6 or 7 o'clock this morning. If I'm not working, I'm doing something with Arlene or Charlotte, or I go to the gym for this hour and a half. That is my time, and then I'd either have people I don't even know. Oh, Ellie, can I ask you this about my blood work? But like not waiting till after the gym, like in between my fucking sets, or like clients being like, and I'm like, God, this is just 90 minutes of my day. Like, just leave me to be on my own and fucking train.
People
I
don't
don't know
get
if you lot. I don't know if you lot are going to agree with this. You know, when you're in the gym, got your headphones on. Like I train at Jamie's and it's completely empty, so I've got my headphones on. But do you know when someone talks to me for too long, it breaks my flow of training, and I feel like my pump has just gone. And once that pump goes, it doesn't come back.
Like I've got the facility to train at Alpha Neon. Like I've got a membership that I didn't pay for there. Like fantastic gyms around me. There's one here, but like it's nothing to do with the people there, the owners. I love them the bits, but like I know so many people there. They know who I am. Like it's you go there, then a half-hour chat with the guys in there. Then somebody talks to you between the set, and then you finish, and then you got to do another half-an-hour chat with somebody else. And people want to see you stripped down, or how lean you looking. When's the show doing? And the only reason I went to this little gym down here is nobody fucking knows me. I went in there with the intention that I was probably going to punch a 16-year-old, so everybody leave me alone. So they thought I was really mean. But then it's like an evolution, because what happens is you talk to one person there, and it's like that's why I constantly have to move gyms all the time. Like you become the go-to guy for help, and I just don't want to fucking be that. But the only way to stop that is to be fucking rude to everyone, you know?
That's why I was
like, if you lot get that, but when people go, "Oh, where do you train?" and I'm like, "I train everywhere." They're like, "Why do you always move gyms?" I'm like, "Because I'll get into a gym, I don't know a cunt." Or I mean, down here it's hard because like we know everyone knows each other, but you know, to a certain extent, like you don't know the people. And then as time goes on, you get to know people, and then you got to move because then people fucking chat to you.
How do you do it though? I actually want advice. Like this is really bugging, especially with prep and that. Like I just want to be left alone. But like even now in this gym, been training out for a couple of weeks. Everybody already knows who I am. They found me on Instagram. Like I get compliments on like my check-ins or whatever. Then you got the 15-year-old kid who doesn't need a spot, but he wants me to spot him so he can talk to me afterwards. It's really hard for me to fucking manage.
I tell you what, like at the end of like now, I don't give a fuck. But at the end of prep, I literally moved to a like a leisure centre because it was just full of kids or old people. No cunt will talk to you, and I literally that was why I moved.
Yeah.
And the guy that like I was training at the gym I was training at, and he goes like, "Why move there?" He said, "The kit there's shit." I'm like, "It is shit, but at least I can get a workout in."
Yeah.
No cunt talks to me, and you don't want to speak to anyone like in prep, even less so.
And I'd rather have shit kit and be left alone than be a kit whore with everybody around me that I know.
100%.
It's what I've been doing more sessions in David Lloyd's just so I can go in, train, no one's asked, and then leave. I go to Ultraflex because the kit's amazing, and for back and for legs, because of my injuries, I need the kit.
Yeah.
And I go in during the day, and usually it's quiet, so it's all right. But I went through a phase around where I'm from. I would have to change gym every year for exactly what you say. Even if you don't know anybody in there to start, within 3 months, people are asking the odd question. Within 6 months, people want help with this. And then within 9 months to a year, like, you work out to twice as long. And even in Ultraflex, like, I love nothing more than chatting this shit. I'll chat this shit all day. But it's when...
Not when I'm training.
Not when
I would have just done my heavy straight set on leg press. I'll have a back off to do. And then someone will ask me something, and I can't help but not talk about it. And then afterwards, not only is the pump gone and I've cooled down, my whole aggression, focus, everything's fucking gone. And I've seen me fuck my back set off because I'm like, I'm going to hurt myself now because I'm not screwed in.
I'm glad it's not just me. I feel a bit better now. I thought I was just an absolute anomaly or a fucking weirdo.
No, it's a fucking nightmare.
What I do when I'm in prep is I wear my hat anyway a lot more. But I wear my hat because I find like I can't really see as much. Put my headphones on, and I literally walk in the gym with my head down.
Yeah.
I put my headphones on in the car, and I put the music on. So I walk in, safe. Who's that?
That's Hilly's
Wasn't
bird.
it? It was a
Stick in
stupid.
my ass.
That wasn't. It was a stupid thing.
So
One of
what
the
are
lads
your
just put this
goals?
in the group.
What are your
Goals,
goals
lads.
for? What are
Go
your
on, Chubbs, you
goals?
go first.
I'm gonna last because I need to think about this because I haven't got like what are we just talking bodybuilding or are we talking anything?
Everything.
It was your idea.
Right. Who's gonna go first? I'm gonna think about this.
I'll go first because this is an easy one for me. Obviously, I'm prepping. I've got a couple of shows lined up. They'll start in April, end in May. For me, I just want to enjoy this. I don't want any pressure. I'm not going to post my check-ins on social media as I start to get leaner. I'm just going to do it for me, enjoy it with Hilly, have a bit of laugh, do a bit of experimenting, and then just try and rock up, chilled. All the shows I'm doing this year are within 30-minute drive for me, so I ain't got to book a fucking hotel, book any food. Just going to go out there, have a bit of a laugh, and then see what's what. That's what I'm doing this year.
Liz?
What about outside of bodybuilding?
Yeah, you do too.
Work. We're just. I'm going over to Port Elizabeth, which is on the outside of South Africa, to view new premises for a new office. So I'll probably be buying that and setting up there. So obviously, as everybody knows, I travel a lot and that sort of stuff. Baby, life's just completely different now. Like it's just weird. Like it's all just revolves around my daughter and just making sure I'm available for her, which is a big thing. Coaching's picked up drastically again. I barely advertised for it towards the tail end of the year. Worryingly enough, some of the new clients in this new demographic of people are just, I honestly, some are unhelpful, and they're going to know who they are because I basically turn them down. Some of these people just can't be helped. So coaching will be as it is. I would like to get back into it a little bit more and kind of focus on it a little bit more now that I have more time, not partying as much and that sort of stuff. Just bought a new motorbike, so I'll be doing a bit more of riding around and that sort of stuff. Yeah, chilled one for me.
Nice.
Go Hilly, do yours.
Bodybuilding wise, I still intend to get up to 245 or 250 if I can. So I just have to experiment with a different way of doing it again. So the goal is to get lean. I've got a video of 8 weeks out where I was last year. I want to get to about then. And then I want to stay as lean as possible. And I'm just going to take the rest of the year to slowly but surely build up food and see if staying leaner helps me keep my appetite and then just have fun with training. Last year and the year before, working with AJ, I was 110% dialed in around the baby and with what he wanted to do. And with every time I was in Dubai, I was on prep. Every time we went, I was nailed on. So I want to be a bit more relaxed, doing things my way and just having fun with that. But with a real focus on, because I enjoy fault finding, or fault fixing, just seeing if I can get this to work where I can keep my appetite up and get my way back to where I want it to be. Bodybuilding wise.
Outside,
Spend loads of time with Aralina, as always. And my goal is to have this house paid off in 2 years. So try and not waste loads of money. And I will do. And watch my cryptocurrency hopefully trend up and up and up.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's gonna be
after all them pounds.
After being 30 grand down, hopefully I'll be a couple of quid up.
even now's the time to buy it anyway. Well, not now, but
Well, I've got 50 grand's worth I bought over a couple of years, and not at the peak, just as it was sort of hovering on the way down a couple of years ago. So I'm back to level now. So based on what everybody thinks, and I don't know jack shit about it,
do you know?
based on the way I understand it, but I don't watch the trends and stuff. But I understand
what you're investing in, because I've gone in with 50 grand as well, but I'm on it probably about 24/7. I'm fucking watching YouTube videos, like watching it all. So
I just made sure mine's all in Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Well, that's it. I went with the safe ones because it was a lot of money that I wouldn't want to lose. So I went with the safe ones. And like I said, based on what everything looks like and based on what everybody says, based on the people who I know what they're talking about, I should maybe double that money and come out with 100 grand, which would be nice.
You'll wait. If you've gone in with, like a lot of that stuff, I mean, yeah, Bitcoin will go at least 2x this year, but ETH will probably go about 5x. So,
well, that's if everybody that I know that's switched on is like your 50 grand will be between 100 and 150 within a year or so, which will do me nice.
Apart from hiding like liquid cash, it's one of the things that terrifies me. Like with how addictive my personality is, if I would leave it alone, it would consume my life if I got heavily involved in.
Well, I was making me and my mates were messing about last year, the year before, and Riz buying little ones and this ones and that ones. But when I had a chunk of money that I needed to put somewhere that I didn't want to
Yeah.
put in the bank, I was like, right, well, I'll just put it in here, leave it in there. And like I say, at one point last year, I was just over 30 grand down. So, but I expected it to go down, and I
But
knew it would
last
come
year,
back up.
if you bought last year, that was probably the worst time to get in.
Yeah.
Like, as in, if you got in on the high, you bought high, and it all just crumbles. If you had
Me and Hilly bought at the same time. We bought when it was really low. I actually put in £500. It went to $4,000 just in one coin.
on
Which I
what?
should
On what?
on FTM Phantom. And then Hilly had a big fart, yeah. So I sold loads of that. I bought Luna when it was dropping.
Mate.
Luna was
Luna's
supposed to be
like-
addictive though.
No, but me and Hilly bought Luna in the crash when it went to like fuck all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I've got 5 million coins. And it went to nothing, bro.
Then it blew up.
But it is
Mate,
going
Adam,
back up
mate.
now.
I know a guy. Because he was like he watched it go up, and he invested I think he put 80 grand in it, and it went up, and he was like, sweet, let's put more in. And he said to his missus, you put 10 grand in it as well, because that will fucking fly. And he literally said that same day, he watched it down and down and down. He said that 150 grand went to like $2.
Yeah, within like 12 hours. It
Yeah, but
literally went.
The thing is, though, you got to remember, like, all these coins, and they've all got certain utility. You've got to watch that. Like, what's the point of it? If you're going to invest in some shit coin, like some meme coin, then, yeah, it's going to fucking go to shit. But
I suppose, just to add to my thingy goal there, my whole purpose now, it changed as soon as Arlena was born. Before Arlena was born, I was in Dubai in Marbella, and I was going to buy a property abroad. As soon as Arlena was born, I was like, absolutely not. I need to make sure my mortgage is paid off. So then if anything happens to me, I know Arena's being left with like 250 or 300 grand. Because my morbid thought pattern is, if something happens to one of us, right, the chances that your life insurance is going to pay out is fucking zero once they check our bloods and find out what's in our body. People don't think about this, right? So
do you know there's an app called it's called like Black Hut or something, that you key all your usernames in. It has a password. You give it to your partner. She logs in, and it deletes all of your social media that you've ever had, like any content that you had. So things for life insurance policies, if you're speaking about drugs, drug use, that sort of stuff, it just gets rid of it all. Goes.
Right, because even if they check your bloods, you see. So I knew a lass. Her husband, I think it was, he died on the way home from a bodybuilding show. Had a heart attack, I think. And when they were in the ambulance was like, "What's he been taking?" So she reeled off everything he'd been using in prep. And by all accounts, that null and voided his life insurance. So no. So I've been obsessed with this. My obsession is like, I'll be able to relax if I know, no matter what, I'm leaving out only 250 or 300 grand. But me and my dad own a couple of other houses, but I've got another one on my own. If I get, and I only owe 20 grand left on this other one, the one I used to live in. Do you know Aristotle, the one I used to live in, right? I only owe 20 grand left on that. If I get both of these paid off, I'll have no mortgage, and then the other house will pay all of the bills on this one. So I'll be living for free.
Set for life.
Which is a very exciting thought, that, because I'm building generational wealth for Arlena, because she'll have £500,000 even if I die in fucking 2 years. Never mind what else I save. And then I can send her to private school if I want, and whatever else. All of mine, like, I spoke to these two investment guys a couple of years ago, and they were like, the best, in their opinion, if you can be living for free, so if you don't have to worry about bills, then you can invest money you do earn heavily in stuff that's a bit more risky, or you can lock your money away for longer, and then your investments can be more successful because you don't have to worry about other things. So, because the other house I have, that would pay the gas, electric, internet, insurance, everything on here. All I'd have to pay for is my cars, which is a pretty fucking good place to be.
A Lamborghini at that point.
Which will be a Lamborghini or a fucking Ferrari, you best believe it, yeah. Yeah, without a fucking shadow of a doubt. So that's me.
Well, you, Riz?
I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna compete end of this year. I'll probably win one show, lose about 7, but it's all right. And then outside of that, coaching's picking up. So what I'm thinking of, I was chatting about it today. I'm going to try to get in someone to do packing for me for the business. That'll be a big step. I'm gonna get a cleaner to come in and do some of the house while I stop doing it like a dickhead every day. And then what I do want to do, obviously you lot know I've got a lot of supplements coming out in the line. The goal is to have the one of the more uniquer bodybuilding brands in the UK by the end of this year. So I'm not going to say I'm going to be level of JP and Strong, I never will be, but have a very niche, select product line. Do you know what I mean? That's what I
I think
want.
the way it's gone, I can't see why not.
Yeah, never say never.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got another product coming out soon, which is L-carnitine and choline, which Matt Tofton was talking about. So I've got it made. It'll be here soon.
Yeah, the way you've done it, it's like, you know, and again, it's just the pace you've gone, because it's not like a lot of these brands, they've taken 4, 5, 6 years before it even takes off. Yours has just gone.
But I think, bro, do you know what it is? Do you know, I don't force it down anyone's throat. I don't do loads of posts. Buy this, buy this, buy this. I'm not. People use it. They'll do the work. If it's good, they'll hype it up themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do nothing.
I think you've done it in the most selfless way as well, like with the sponsors and stuff, and how good you are with those people, the people you've picked. Like that will do the legwork for you. The problem is most people are so fucking selfish or money hungry, they don't do that initial bit, which is why their businesses fell. Well, you did it the right way, which is be selfless with it, sacrifice a little bit at the start, and the rest they'll carry it for you.
Bro, sacrifice ain't the word, bro. Because like I have, bro, like who sends out all their sponsors free stuff? I literally message everyone. What do you need? Deck, what do you want? Chudley, what do you want?
Yeah, on that note, bro, I need to re-up.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm joking, mate.
I messaged Chudley, like, I want some turbojet. Oh, listen, bro, just fucking have it, man. I don't want it, bro. Tofton was like, I was at Tofton, what you doing? Who does this? I messaged Dan Bassett. I go, listen, mate, you get free L-carnitine. Why the fuck are you not using more? He goes, what do you mean? I goes, use more. It's free. I send you more. I sent them out like 3. I sent Matt Tofton out 3. He goes, fucking use them, man.
Tofton was using 2 grams in it, and he said it's starting to make a mad difference. So, Hilly, I'm putting 2 grams of L-carnitine in.
I've been doing it recently. The one thing that I have found is, legitimately, nothing else has changed. I'm starting to get that proper dirty sweat in bed.
Yeah.
It's like this stinky sweat. It's not like Trent. It's like
ammonia. I know what you mean. It's like sweet.
It's like it smells like salty. It's just nasty, bro. But I'm using it morning, pre-gym, and post-gym, and then I bang some oral form off it as well. Fuck it.
Worth trying, you know.
Listen, it's free for ya, so try it, innit? Do you know what I mean? What's your goals, Chudley?
Well, see, training wise, I'm kind of convinced by this point that bodybuilding wise, like I'm done with that. Like that's kind of like that phase is done, and then like as in hardcore bodybuilding, like competitive bodybuilding and things like that. And you know, I just train for fun. I train when I want to. You know, if I train at before, I'll be like, right, I got to train at 11 o'clock. Now I'm like, no, if I've got a shit to do, I'll just train at 5. It doesn't matter.
Chud, you need to do an official retirement post on Instagram, or it don't count. You need to tell people that you need balance in your life. It's taken away. Now you're gonna go and do cryptocurrency, be a millionaire on a yacht in Dubai. Like that's what you need to do, bud.
Yeah, you need a post.
For me, it's like that, and I'm just so much more chilled about. But I think like accepting that was like the difficult part.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, I just train at 5. It's fine. Now, yes, that will take away from the quality of the training, because you're not going to train as hard because you're obviously you're not dialed in as much. But that's fine, because my goal isn't to be progressing at the same rate I was at before. For me now, it's just more maintain that look, because I need the look for the things I do.
What is the look? What is the look?
Just kind of look like the tattooed
athletic.
You know, still when I do all my videos of flexing and all that stuff on camera, that's enough. Like, mate, it's people like the people that are like on my tattooed account. They're like, "Oh, you're fucking massive." I'm like, "Wait, I'm tiny compared to like
Olympia." Yeah.
But they see that as like you're just like the biggest guy, which is so weird, because it's like, you know, if I was to post that on like my bodybuilding page, no one even like, they would be like, average look. But to like normal people, that's just insane. It's like they think you're like the biggest guy ever. So you know, as far as that, like bodybuilding wise, I train for fun and just enjoy it, rather than like, you know, be so like how I was last year.
What? So no more shows?
No, bro.
100%.
And the thing is, like, I can't, because it's not that I can't, but it, like with the amount of tattoo coverage I've got no space. Like I'm almost done with like my whole body being tattooed. There's still like load of stuff that needs doing, like touching up stuff like that.
Yeah, can I pick your cock tattoo?
In terms of you can do that. In terms of like coverage, tattoo coverage, there's no point competing with that many tattoos. That it's two completely different worlds. It's, you know, you can't be a bodybuilder and be as heavily tattooed as I am. You know, so
see, when I retire, I want to be like that 300-pound dude, like with like a 40-inch gut that just looks like he's in the world's strongest man. That's what I want to look like. Fuck the athletic stuff.
I'll tell you what though, when you stop training, I literally like eat twice a day. And Ryan's like, how? Because you've always had really mad appetite. I'm like, I think it's because I don't train.
Nah, not me, bro. I'm too fat. Not a fucking chance in hell that's ever happening. I'll have to train.
I think it would have been
trained, but no. The way I'm talking about it is, so like I've had 2 meals today, right, all day long. This morning, I went and got a baguette from Greg's, like a chicken baguette from Greg's.
Tuna crunch.
I went in to train, and then I had my Cocoa Pops and whey, and now I'm gonna have dinner like when we finish, and that'll be it. Like, I just don't have the appetite because I'm not having the output isn't there.
Yeah.
I think it would have been good. I think it would be good. Obviously, if you did one more show with Hilly, just hear me out. Just hear me out. Why? Because obviously, look, we're not got a problem with Louis, right? Louis cool to us, but obviously that prep was a little bit of a shambles. So I think just do one more. I'll send you all the whole engineered muscle range for free.
I just don't have you mentally. You got to be in there.
Can you
mentally,
imagine the crossover in business if Chuds puts on his tattoo page that all of his muscle is because of L-carnitine, and how many weirdos would buy that?
He posted something today, got loads of followers.
I bet you did, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you want though, because it's just drive. Because you can post it onto America and anywhere else, you know.
Yeah.
So it's
what's the personal stuff, Chuds? I'm interested. I want to know what you're doing with social media and shit like that. What's the plans?
Well, so with my socials, like I reckon, hopefully, like hitting 1 million across my social platforms shouldn't be too difficult this year. Which, when you're at that point, you can fucking do anything you want.
Yeah.
So obviously, affiliating with all these different companies. I was thinking about apparel, like t-shirts and stuff, but more like nothing like serious, but more so like meme t-shirts. You know, like tattoos or stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which that's when I go to Turkey. I'm going to speak to the guys out there that are doing my surgeries and stuff. Because they put together festivals and stuff. So they're like, we can sort you out. We can even sponsor your t-shirt company and maybe put our logo on it. I'm like, cool. Or if not, I did speak to the fit guy.
Rob Sick,
I could potentially work with him. So maybe having a chat with him. But you know, that you know, so I'm not sure whether that's really gonna have a massive return, but it's more just branding. Obviously the podcast stuff. I was speaking about to Ryan about potentially doing it, switching up the podcast and turning it from, because this is a bodybuilding podcast. Like with him, I feel like it would work better to turn it into a non-bodybuilding podcast, because I want to start doing long form content on YouTube, but I'm not sure yet how I want to twist that so it's not so much like the same shit I do on TikTok and Instagram.
Pretty different,
yeah. Looking at property stuff now, because again, like when you're making money from like your social media content, you don't just want to keep it. You want to be putting it into stuff, like the crypto and certain other investments.
What sort of money are we talking, Chudley? When you get like a million likes, 1 million Instagram followers, what would you reckon you take in for sponsors and stuff?
It depends. Like with TikTok, like people are making at the minute. People are making ridiculous money. Like 1 million views can be something like 10 grand. Like, it's stupid.
If I turn on the TV one day and you're on like Strictly Come Dancing or Big Brother, I'll chin you.
It's not like every video is different, because it depends on like the type of video. Like there's loads of different factors that come into how much you're getting paid. It's like with YouTube. Like YouTube can be from $2 to $5 per 1,000 views. Varies, right? But obviously TikTok at the minute, it can go up to £1.50 per 1,000 views. So you're getting, you know, it could be a good amount of money for a single fucking minute video on TikTok. So, and then you've got Instagram, you've got Facebook, you've got YouTube. So just off of that, but you don't want to rely on that, because that can be taken if you're at any point. thinking about doing a social media course as well. So there are loads of different things, obviously that I'm working on that are taken away from the bodybuilding part of what I used to do, which is fine. So yeah, scaling up the content. I'm going to start working with a videographer so I can do the outdoor content a lot more.
Yeah,
When I go and interview people. So, there's a load of stuff going on. But
Do you know what was crazy about what you just said? I was listening to Dana White on his post-UFC fight thing, and that power slap that everyone said is never going to work, one of those videos got 500 million views. Imagine how much money he's made off the back of that.
on what platform?
I don't know. It was a record breaker because it's the most viewed sport clip in the world. Like, it beat the NBA, the NFL.
Slapbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stupid shit. Imagine how much money he's making off the back of that.
Mate,
Madness, isn't it?
tons. But
18 million
that's
likes,
it.
500 million views.
If you can...
I just want.
Yeah, go on.
Just wanted to say, Adrian at Alpha has given us a BMS 10 code, and if you use the BMS 10 at the Alpha Neon checkout, and you also message Adrian to say what you've ordered, or just say hello, he'll chuck you in a free shaker as well.
Nice.
And he's also the happiest Irishman. He loves to talk, so send him loads of messages.
Loads of
Voice
voice
notes.
notes. Then say Turbo's gonna fuck up Akuma when he sees him
Yeah,
next.
scrap now.
Big scraps.
I think with this podcast as well, like, if we could move that past the, 2-3K views, if we could flip that somehow to get it more mainstream, that would always be really good. Because we're always going to do that. No matter, even if there's one person watching it, we just enjoy
We'll still
doing
do
it.
it.
So we'd
Yeah.
still do it. But if we could get a return from it, like in a way that, we can get it more mainstream, that would be... So it's just how we introduce it.
It just takes time. I think naturally, no offense to any other YouTubers in the UK, right? We've only got like 600 subs, but we always get 600 like views, or we get over 1,000, right? A lot of the other guys have got like 2,000-3,000 subs, but they only get 400 views because they're getting their mum, their nan, their sister, you know what I mean, to follow it. I think we've got we post our shit, people actually watch it, which is
Yeah,
nice.
they do. Every time we post it, the amount of people message me about stuff's fucking off it.
Mate, it's
Yeah,
actually a
it's
pain in
good.
the ass now because my clients keep calling me on my shit. Like, I will map out their plans and they're like, yeah, but you said this on the podcast that you don't do rep ranges. I'm like, yeah, but you're not me. Fucking do the rep ranges.
Well, I get you mentioned this drug. Why aren't we using this drug? You said this drug in that situation. Why aren't I using this drug? I'm like, listen, not everything's relevant to everybody.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Pulling me on shit that we spoke about on here.
Any of any clients want to work with an elite coach, please message me. I'll give you 20%
Mate, I'll
off.
send a few your way, bud. No problem. I'll send you your email address.
Hilly sent me someone. I goes, bro, I'm pretty much. I'm at my capacity in my brain, bro. Do you know what I mean?
I'm now putting clients on waiting lists for February and March. I'm like, that's it, kind of, no fucking more. Fucking done.
I just want more prep clients now. That's it.
The last thing, what I need to do in 2024 is get this lump in my eye cut out. See that lump there?
Oh, you're still there?
Even still, that
Yeah.
sty thing.
So it's called a...
I'll hook you up, Illy. I'll send you off to my clinic in Turkey.
Your Turkish place.
Yeah.
It's like it's a charlatan or something it's called. So it's like a sty, but it's right inside. But when I went to see the doctor last time, he was like, yeah, no problems, Mr. Hill, we can just cut it out now. So I was like...
What, they'll do it on the NHS?
Yeah, I was at the NHS doctors. He was like, I'll do it. He was like, I'll do it for you now. I was like, no problems. I was like, is there any risks? He was like, well, obviously I'm going to have to cut into your eye. So there is a chance that it could cause some damage. I was like, nah, we'll miss that, mate. It doesn't bother me at the moment. But then I was talking to this lassie today. She works in an NHS home or something, wherever she works. She said they had a patient and he'd left his for ages and ages. And because it's heavy on the eye and it makes the eye hang down, it got bigger, and when it eventually cut out, the eye was lazy and it was affecting his sight. So I was like, fuck's sake, I have to go and
Is
get it
that like
cut
what
out now.
Nathan Diaz has got now? Because his eyes are fucked,
Yes,
aren't they? Yeah.
same thing. Yeah, same
Why
thing.
does that
It's
happen?
exactly the same thing. I think it's just the same as the cause for a sty.
My
You're just
dad
getting
gets
like...
Yeah.
So I get styes quite a lot, especially when I'm run down. And I think it's just some people have more oily open pores around here, or long eyelashes. So do you know your pores are bigger, but these ones are like in, so that they're in the eyelid themselves. It's just like a hard lump. But he did say I could try and massage it. So when I was in the spa, I was massaging it, but it was fucking swelling up. So I was like, no.
If you went to the deep tissue, can I get a deep tissue on my eye?
He's only eucalyptus oil in his eyeball, and he's wondering why he can't see.
What do you need working? Oh, I need my
Happy ending afterwards or what?
United States.